Hi, I'm Bill Sokol, and I'm going to be doing a 4-week course, 2 hours each week, September, October, total of 8 hours together, trying to bisect, dissect, and figure out just how awful the current Supreme Court is. We just have to deal with it seriously. We have to come to grips and understand beyond the headlines what they're really doing to the law as they convert it from interest in the law into interest in policy and making policy for all of us. I think the way we do this is, number one, take a look at the Constitution itself. Let's start there. A terribly flawed Constitution. And I think for the first week, I'm asking everybody, read the Constitution, so when you come into the first one, we can talk about how and why that Constitution is so flawed, what's in it and what's not in it. Probably me talking for a while about it and then us discussing, or maybe we'll discuss it first, have a thick, rich, I hope, discussion about the Constitution, and then I can basically fill you in with more thoughts and ideas that I've gathered about that. In the following 3 sessions, I think what I'll probably do is bring in some people to talk with, and on other occasions talk myself with PowerPoints, and then open up various topics for discussion with you so that we can really take a look in depth. I think we have to deal with a court that is, number one, trying to destroy democracy. I think it's that simple. I don't think there's any way to avoid calling it that. And that'll probably be the second week, the attack on democracy. We'll talk about big money in politics, cutting out the vote for as many as possible, gerrymandering, and of course the decision saying that the president is something much more like a monarch. The undermining of democracy and the replacing of it with authoritarianism, a very deliberate and distinct policy of 6 MAGA judges, and they're not really, in my opinion, people are trying to make law. They're trying to make ideological politics in the MAGA mold, the very craziest part of the MAGA mold, given that, one of the justices, Sam Alito, flies the flag upside down. I'll bet we didn't even know, you're probably like me, we didn't even know what that meant, and found out you have to go down 3 levels into the crazoids, the true white nationalists, to find the folks who fly the flag upside down. Probably after that, I want to have someone come in, I think in the 3rd week probably, and talk about reproductive rights. The death of Roe v. Wade, the Dobbs decision, the 2 decisions this last term, one about mifepristone and one about women in Idaho and how close they have to come to death before they can have an abortion. Really understanding what the court did in those 2 cases. Beyond that, I hope to have someone come in and review last term. Been a series of awful decisions this last time. They only issue 60 decisions. They issue fewer decisions than most of the courts before them, but they pick big issues. In this last term, they picked the biggest of all and came at them all in some pretty terrible ways. So we may do that. And then I'm not sure. I really want to cover guns, God, immigration, with people as well as myself and us talking about them. I'm not sure exactly which topics. It'll depend in part on which people I'd like to bring in happen to be available those 4 particular, I think it's Mondays that we're going to do it. So let me say it this way. I don't want any illusions here. This is not going to be fun. This is not a happy course. This is not, here's how we solve the problem. This is a course where we say we have to take a serious look and face head-on what they're doing. We have to understand it in some depth. So then we can begin to talk about, okay, what are the alternatives? What do we really do about this? Is this something we attack with term limits, age limits, expanding the court? What power should Congress exercise? What powers can the executive branch exercise? How do we maintain this fragile thing called democracy? I mean, historically, all democracies come to an end. And the question is, what role is this court playing in making that possible here? So it's going to be how bad it is, and only at the end do we talk about how and if we fight back. Thanks, and for those of you willing to go through that downer, I look forward to seeing you.